Thank you, Ali. Thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. I'm delighted to have this quarterly reunion with some of you who attended the previous webinars and some who this is for them the first time to attend my quarterly webinars. So I'm delighted to welcome everyone. As mentioned by Ali, today we are going to talk about originality. And to apply originality, we are going to apply a new format. We are going to have it not as a mono dialogue as I did for the last sessions where I had some guests for a short period of time. Here today, we are going to have a special guest, Antonio Lima, who is one of the unique thought leaders that I met in my professional life, and we became friends since a number of years now. And we are going to have an exchange, like a panel, around the topic. We are going to be asking each other some questions, talking about it, looking at it from different perspectives. And then we are going to have to open the door for question and answers from the audience for the last 20 minutes from the session. I'm again very delighted that Antonio have accepted my invitation. And before giving him the floor, I will just share with you the sequence of the session. So the agenda of today is that we are going to have an exchange around the question, are we all original? Is everybody original or can be original? We are going to talk about originality in today's world, how it is positioned in today's world. Originality as a service. And again, this is the main theme of today because we can be unique, we can be original, but how we can make it useful for others. And we are going to have a summary of the key takeaways. And then we are going to welcome the questions from the audience. This is the agenda of today's 60 minutes that I invite you to follow. And again, thank you very much for being with us. So without further ado, I would love to welcome Antonio to share his video and for everybody to see you, Antonio.
Okay.
So thank you, Antonio, for accepting to be with me. And we are going to start with, are we all original? So I will ask you the first question. Please tell us about your definition and your interpretation about originality, Antonio.
Oh, Amir, this is a quite interesting topic when this is important for everybody. We share the questions to each other, but we never share the answers to each other. So this is also the first time that Amir gonna hear me. This is exactly the point, to be original, to be not influenced by others. So when I saw this question, and then I have to say, Amir, we always look more intelligent when we ask questions than we answer questions. In this case, it's for real because Amir is wiser than me. So thank you, Amir. My definition for original is to be unafraid, to be a person that is not afraid to try something different. If you have to put in one single word, it's don't to be afraid. Don't to be afraid to try something else. Don't to be afraid to make a mistake. Don't to be afraid of the consequences. Usually children are more original just because they don't actually think about the consequences of it. So from my perspective is the willing to fix, willing to help, and to be unafraid of the consequences. That I think this is the seed of the originality. This is from my perspective. The other way around.
Thank you, Antonio.
This is the other way around. Thinking, considering not just my way, but do you think the originality is a thing that you can learn, or you need to born with it? Or you born with it, but you lose it with time, if you consider my answer?
Yeah. As for the last webinar, when we talked about entrepreneurship, we raised the same question. Are we born an entrepreneur or we develop the skills? And the answer is the same for the question today. We can be born with a number of natural skills, more guts to try, not to be afraid, as you mentioned, to have more creativity. Yes, we can have it by birth, but any skill that we can have it by birth and independent how much we have it by birth, we need to develop it. We need to practice it. Based on our discussions on different topics, you always say excellence comes with practice. And practicing and daring to be original is something that will allow us to develop the skill, to make it work better for our life and for others. So it is something that we have to dare about. And for me, to complement your definition, for me, the originality is about fresh initiatives and inventive capacity, both of them, to have a fresh look at things and to have an inventive capacity to invent things. And it doesn't mean that we have to invent the new car or the new computer or the new space shuttle, but it is sometimes inventing small solutions, small ideas, can help daily life, can help us, can help our loved ones, and can help others. So to dare to do it, and we have to practice, we have to keep practicing. And there is something that I was, and again, you are going to discover this, this part of my answer today, is that we all know about déjà vu. And déjà vu means that we see something new, but we have the impression that we saw it before. We all had this kind of experience. We see someone, we see a place, we see something in TV, and we have the impression that we saw it before, although that it is the first time that we saw it. And here there is this other concept, vu. Vu-jadi is the opposite of déjà vu. Vu means that the capacity of seeing something familiar, that we saw it before, but we see it from a different perspective, and we rediscover it. We rediscover someone whom we met several times, but because he said something new, because he is bringing a new idea, we can rediscover it. We can go to a place where we went to this place several times in the past, but we are going to rediscover the place because that day it was raining, and we are with the rain, the place brings new features, new possibilities. Same thing at work, same thing at sports, same thing with hobbies, same thing with the family. You know, we are talking about couples and sometimes the crisis between couples after a number of years, and we have to reinvent the relationship. And this is all about vu-jadi. And this is about originality also, to look at things from a different perspective, to dare to look at things. And this is about practice.
Wow, Amir, this is quite a nice surprise for me, because I always thought about déjà vu, but never about vis-a-vis. So thank you very much for this. This is value my whole hour right now, because it sparks a lot of ideas in my mind about this vis-a-vis. And think about this. How do you think about this? Do you think originality is related to age? Because obviously, as much as you live, as much as things you experience, so the sensation of a déjà vu could be more frequent. And somehow, this is also turn you away from originality, because you think that this is exactly the same thing I saw 10 years ago. Therefore, we try to apply exactly the same solution and not try to go to something else. So originality and age, how do you relate those two things?
Yeah, and this is all about the brand that I developed some time ago, inspiring our life. Again, why I selected those words for the brand. Inspiring our life means that we have the responsibility to be inspired, to inspire ourselves and then inspire others. So yes, with age, we can lose track with our dreams. We can lose track with our creativity, our inventive and our capacity around freshness. Children, as you mentioned, have this naturally. And then with age, things can be spread around because we are under pressure, because we have many objectives, many duties, and we lose track with our dreams. And this is where we have, independent from the age, independent from where we are, independent from what kind of problems we are facing or changes we have to go through, we need to keep inspiring our life and accordingly keep reinventing our life, re-looking at life and surrounding in a different perspective, always from a fresh way. And we apply our uniqueness because we are unique. And again, this is why the first slide we had the fingertip, because scientifically speaking, we can't have any two similar fingerprint or fingertip in the whole world. We are unique. Our character, our combination, all the people whom you met, all the surrounding that we have, all the experiences that we have, make us unique. And we have to always use this uniqueness to keep developing, to keep reinventing ourselves and our surroundings. And this, if we apply this approach, this mindset, age will never impact our ability to be original until the last day of our life. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah. And in the same context, I mean, do you think it's easy to be accepted being an original person? Because you need to accept yourself, but you need also the acceptance of others that recognize you as a person that is branded original. It's more like, it's more than just be branded original, but we recognize it as original.
Yeah, again, if we are going to do everything to be recognized, to have the recognition of being original, I believe that we are going to lose track of the benefit of being original. There is nothing to prove. The original person will be identified naturally by his surrounding or her surrounding.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing to prove. It is, you will not get an Oscar for being original. You will not get a medal for being original. But people will be attracted to you. People will be naturally coming to talk to you and getting inspired from your ideas, from your energy. It is all about energy. Again, of course, different cultures have different ways for manifesting the energy. You know, the Latins manifest it with hands, with voice, and others. Maybe the Nordics will manifest it through other means. But again, it is all about energy. And this energy will attract people. And once people will come to you, will be attracted by your energy, by your ideas, by your inspiration, you will be accepted. You cannot impose your originality, because if you impose it, and this we are going to talk about it in the second theme in a minute, then you are going to have resistance from others, because the actual word is different, and we are going to talk about it. So acceptance, the best thing about it, it comes natural, and things will go in with the flow. And I know, and I will return back the question to you, Antonio. I mean, you are originally Brazilian, living in Sao Paulo, working for a multinational German company, one of the most powerful IT company in the world, and working in medical and others. And you have been, embracing the Latin American culture, the German culture, the European culture, the North American culture. Do you feel that throughout your professional life and your personal life, and I know that you adopted a number of original ideas and throughout all of those kind of experiences, did you have a problem? Did you have a challenge to be accepted? Tell us about your experience, please.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for considering me an original person. Sometimes I have the sensation that I'm always reusing ideas. So I challenge this paradigm of repeat myself most of the time. As I told you, and you know, and most of the people that know me know as well, I'm many years in the same company, going through different stages in my life, different cultures, yeah. And sometimes I have the sensation that I'm repeating myself. So I look to the déjà vu and vis-a-vis that you mentioned before. It's quite important for me because I use it a lot. Yeah, the déjà vu. Reusing ideas in different contexts, what by itself, it is original. Using the same old idea, mixing different concepts, old concepts with new challenges, or it's the same challenge, but we're using a very old solution that could apply to this in lateral thinking. And so it is difficult to be accepted as original if you are older, because of how society people, or you're an old guy, this should be something you have done already before. It's younger if you're a young guy with an earring, a beautiful haircut, not like the baldness I have already, to be considered original. So it is not so easy, yeah. But if the person detach the idea from who is talking, it's getting a little bit easier. So, and then going back to your question, I talk about business. Originality in business is quite a common demand. You need to be original. Think better. Do more with less. Do not do more or less. I said, do better with less. But do you think that this originality comes out for other aspects of society? Do you see this happening from other ways, the way you interact with your friends or your family?
Yeah, so before we talk about society, I will just summarize points for the first theme. Are we all original? So just for the audience to keep the key points that we talked about. One, we may be born with more natural original skills than others, but it is all about practice. So it is very important to keep the mindset of how to develop our originality and apply it in our daily life, to make it simple, to dare, as you mentioned, and apply the children approach, which they don't care about failure, they don't care about how they are perceived, they just would like to test their ideas and play with it. And age has nothing to do with the possibility to keep up, as long as we are applying the mindset and as long as we are keeping practice, and the ability to put it into practice in our daily life, whether it is professional or personal, will make it enhanced and will make us connected to our dreams. And this is very important. So going back to the following theme now, just if the screen will respond. Yeah, originality in today's world. So we are going to talk about how we can apply originality in the society today, because we are not living in an island isolated from people. And allow me now to give you back the floor to ask me the question that you wanted to ask me. Back to you, Antonio. The question?
The question was about if the originality...
Antonio? Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yes. If the originality is usually associated
yes.
with business, but do you think if this is common for everyone, if this is really something that could be applied to anyone and everywhere, do you think this kind of behavior could be, how can I say, driven by different demands? It could be driven by itself, or it needs to be driven by the others?
Today's life, as mentioned by Ali in his introduction, it is a fast-changing world. We have to face new changes all the time. We have to face challenges. We have to face obstacles, and everyone needs new ideas. And no matter how original we are, how creative we are, we need other people's ideas. And again, it is all about the force of attraction. When we identify someone with original capacity, we are going to be attracted to, and we are going to exchange together. I'm going to have some ideas, I will share it with others, and others will have their ideas and they will share it with me. And together, as you mentioned, maybe they are old ideas. I'm sure all what we are talking about today is nothing new completely, but it is how to reflect on it, how to think about it in our daily life. Someone, a friend who is attending those webinars since the beginning, he told me it is great to spend an hour thinking about normal things, basic things, applying it or not. So the question is, when was the last time you and I, or anybody from the audience, had an original idea, a real original idea, and what did we do about it? Did we keep it for ourselves because we felt that we don't have time to apply it? Or we felt that it will be ridiculous and others will not accept it, and they will consider it to be a revolutionary idea? And sometimes we are very afraid from revolutionary idea, very afraid to disturb the conformity. Of course, at work, if we are working for a company, there are rules, and we have to respect the rules. But within those rules, even in a corporate world, we can have room for creativity, and all the successful companies leave room for creativity. And outside corporate world, outside business life and professional life, in our daily life, we even if we don't have a boss and we don't have a company to work with, we have a family. Sometimes we say the wife or the husband will be the boss, and we have to conform with their ideas as well, with the family, with the neighbors. And it is all about how to navigate between original ideas with the expectations from the others, with what they expect from you. How to make it as a creative destruction, the negative destruction. When you are distracting, you are not distracting someone, or you are distracting a rule, you are distracting a law. You are distracting something like the way how it was done for many years. Nothing wrong about changing it, as long as you bring a new value for the people, a new value for the community, a new value for your surrounding. And of course, you need to be simple. And again, coming back to, you don't need to impose it. You are not going to be going for a struggle to put your ideas in place. It has to be natural. People will need to be attracted naturally to your idea. And this kind of a change will come naturally and accepted because they feel that you care about them and you're giving them a new perspective. And I'm telling you, once they understand this, there won't be distance and the society will accept. And again, I'm very interested to, for the same question, Antonio, to get one of your experiences, one of your anecdotes about an original idea, a creative idea that you put it in place, whether in your professional life or your personal life, and you felt that it was accepted by your surrounding.
It was interesting. I was thinking about something that I could consider original, but in 2001, we did a big migration project, Amir. In Amr, during this migration project, we have to think creatively to manage a lot of people to do all the migrations on the same weekend. So almost 2,000 machines and users migrated in a single weekend. And we need to tackle this big building with lots and lots of desktops at this moment. And you need to identify for a little army of people going through to the floors, which machines are in which state of migration, different states we have, physical migration, then you have a logical issue or a hardware issue in this migration process. And I was saying, oh my God, how can I identify these machines? And I was thinking, okay, we can put your mouse over your keyboard. You can turn your keyboard backwards if this machine is ready. You can put the mouse under the keyboard if there's a hardware issue. Too complicated. And I was going through the street. I passed in front of a party shop where they say birthday candies, hats for anniversaries or birthday things. And they say, you know what? That's it. I get in. And I bought 400 hats for birthday hats for the children. I asked the guys, I need 800. And they said, okay, it's a boy or a girl. There's a lot of boys and a lot of girls. And at the end, I bought hundreds of hats for birthday hats. And we actually come up with, okay, if this machine is ready, this is in red. If there's an issue, it's in yellow. So we can look to the shop floor and you immediately going to spot how many machines are ready or they have an issue or something. Yeah. So, and it's interesting because we use the same thing 10 years later, or more than almost 15 years later, when you migrate to Windows 7, you use the same expedient. Somebody remembered this and they bought this, they bought the same hats. For why? Well, because I saw this 15 years ago and say, oh yes, what my idea? I forgot about it entirely. And the guy just come up. So what was a creative usage of a common object to do something better? Yeah. So this originality is in everywhere. Yeah, everywhere.
Yes. This reminds me as well an anecdote. In my case, a number of years ago, we are creating a training program for our company. And as you know, our company is worldwide distributed. And we had representatives from all the geographies. So I had one representative for North America, one for Europe, one for Middle East, one for Asia, and so forth. And we were all creative people, but and we are all original on a personal level, but collectively we had a challenge because collectively we needed to create something that will be meeting the different regions' needs while respecting others. For example, the North European representative said, my guys need very practical things. I put the theory aside. While maybe the Latin said, okay, we need a balance between the theory because we cannot ask them to repeat the actions without understanding the theory. While the Asians will say, okay, but we are going to follow the rules. They don't need to come and question why we are doing this and that way. So we are all saying the same thing, but from different perspectives. And we were all original, but from individual and from a culture point of view. And my role was to facilitate the discussion. And at the beginning, I said, oh my God, how am I going to find something that will comply with all those cultures, with all these original ideas, and will meet their needs, because the attendees of this program will come from all. So we had to respect also the needs of every culture and every perspective. And together, we sat for a week, we worked together for a week, we were in a closed place in the countryside, and we put our originality into service of each other. We are listening to each other. We are respecting who wants more theory, who wants more practice, who would like facts, who would like statistics, who would like numbers, who would like processes, who would like rules. And we created something together. And this was a challenge to have it as a collective originality and not just personal originality.
Interesting. So wait, do you want me to get into my next question for you, or do you want to make a question right now?
No, I will just summarize. I mean, I believe that we covered this positioning in the world. I will just summarize it, and then we move to the following one, which is about the service. So the key points here about we need to ensure that our originality is coherent with what our surrounding needs, whether it is professional life or a personal life, the society. We don't need to impose it. We need to think, as per the example that you gave, sometimes simple ideas like things applied by the children about the colors and about the hats and the colors of this to simplify very complex migration projects, as you mentioned. We need to consider that maybe you can be very original on a personal level, but collectively you need to respect as well other people originality and work together to have a collective originality. This is how we can make originality part of the system, part of the world, and not, again, as a destructive element that can be perceived negatively by others. Because I recall what you said at the beginning, people sometimes fear originality because they fear failure, they feel changes, and they feel to be different. They like to be following conformity. And it is very important to make it smooth and not to make it as a trigger for resistance. I believe that this was the key messages that we wanted to give for this part. And now we are going to go through the third element, which is originality as a service. It is good that we can be original, whether we are born original 100% or we develop it along our life and along our experience, but how we can make it helpful for others, how we can inspire others through the service. So I would like to now, do you think, Antonio, that originality is only associated with big ideas, big creative things, or be including big things and small things?
From my perspective, I mean, the originality is in the small things. Small things that have big impact. Big things, big original ideas sometimes are very complex processes, are the consequences of many small things together. So from my perspective, to be original, I try to go into the small things and of my everyday life, because I believe that this is a practice, as you said. Practice makes perfection. So you put this into your whole day. Just what happens if I put my shirt before my trousers or my trousers before my shirt? Do something different in your day. It is important. I saw in Brazil small things, small alterations. For instance, in the toothpaste, if you see, oh, this is the, how can in one simple idea I can raise the sales of toothpaste. The guy just changed the size of the hole because everybody presses the toothpaste as the same way. The toothpaste tube the same way. If you put it larger, you're gonna increase 25% in the sales. It is a small thing. So the originality is in the small things as a small seed for big things. Yeah. So it's a one thing for every single day, every single aspect of your life. If you try a different type of pizza, if you just do different things, or even if you see a movie that you usually will not see, but by curiosity you go and see, to be unafraid, to stay curious about the things, to stay open to new possibilities. And the other way around, if I do all those things, how do you think that I can help others if I put myself into this original vibe? How can I help others if I do this?
Yeah.
In your opinion?
In my opinion, I will give you an example again. My personal life to a very dear person to my heart, my mother. My mother, with age, and everybody, when they come to an age, things becomes routine. You know what they do, they don't work, they see more or less the same people, they watch TVs, more or less the same programs, and so forth. So I would not say I invented a new approach, but I put something into practice with my mother by saying, in the morning, I will say, welcome to a new day. But I will put it as a sound, welcome to a new day. And like celebrating a new day. And what are we going to do with the new day today? And she lives in Egypt, I live in France, and through WhatsApp, through social media, I try to trigger something as a celebration for a new day for my mother. And it was at the beginning, she looked at me and said, Amr, are you sick? Are you okay? Why you are celebrating a new day? A new day is a new day, nothing new. And I said, yeah, but it is, let's make it special. Make it the mindset of something special, that every day will bring something special, and we'll celebrate it by saying, welcome to a new day. And with the sound, with the words, with the things. So she can start thinking about how to make the new day different from the previous day and different from the following day. So this was a very simple, original way. And I associated with, for her to learn new things, to learn about how to use computers, how to use new tools that she never used before. This was a number of years ago. And again, every day we are welcoming the new day and welcoming the new learning. And it is a mindset. Did I invent something new? No. But I believe that, humbly speaking, I contributed to make sure that my mother's daily life is not a routine, is not deja vu. It is not something that we always see every day, but it is, maybe it is something that she's, and this is what just an example that I wanted to share with you and the audience today. So Antonio, the first time we met, it was in a professional conference, and we started to talk about the telecom after my pitch in the conference, and you congratulated me for my pitch. We went with the rest of the attendees of the conference to have lunch. And suddenly, after a few minutes, you start to talk about your passion about space and about all the new possibilities that we can do to go into space. To say, I admired your passion into this perspective. And I would like you today, and again, this question you did not know that I'm going to ask you, I would like you to tell us a little bit, few words about how you can associate your passion about space and what is going on, and all the millionaires, you know, Jeff Bezos and others who are competing to who will go to the moon or the space faster than the other or before that. How do you see this kind of passion in your life that helped you to be original for yourself and for the surrounding?
Oh, I mean, this is a tricky question. We only have 20 minutes. I can spend the next 20 days talking about my passion. This is a tricky thing, but this is exactly the point. Yeah, the space exploration, it's an imperative. It puts challenges, so it actually requires solutions that have not been invented yet. So it is original by demand. We put original as a service as a topic for today's discussion, yeah. But the space exploration and the challenges that we choose to go to the moon, the president said, and I think this is one of the most beautiful speeches of my entire life. We choose to do the hard things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Yeah, and that's exactly the point. We choose our challenges shape us as a human being, as a society. Yeah, we grow because we accept it. So it's a tricky thing to talk about space, and for me, because this is exactly the point. We need to go out of our nest, and the way to get out of our nest is exactly going to putting ourselves to these hard ways, trying to think differently, not because it's different from anything, because it has never been done before. So there is no other way that not to be original, not to embrace another idea, reshape it, transform it, combine, whatever, because nobody has done this before. To boldly go where no one has gone before, you actually have to do somebody that no one has done before. So voila, like my real friend used to say, Amr, voila, yeah. That's it.
Thank you very much for sharing this. So I wanted to summarize for the audience the key takeaways that we want, you and we wish to take away with. And again, the objective here is that I don't think we taught you anything new, but to help you thinking about those points in your life. what you have been doing so far with it, and what you didn't do so far with it, and how you can go further into originality in your life. Introducing originality by yourself and seeking originality from other people, whether the people whom you know already or new encounters, new friends, new business partners, new colleagues. So we already talked about Vujadi, looking at things that you didn't, that you saw before, familiar things, but from a different perspective. The concept of everyone is unique. You are unique by nature, by birth, by education, by surrounding, through all the experiences that you went through. You are unique. And make sure that your originality is a gift. It is life's gift to you. Life gave you this gift from the mixture and the blending of all the aspects that you developed along life, but make sure that this gift is also useful for others. Sure that you inspire us, because when you link, you inspired me, Antonio, since we met by talking about space, and I started to read about space, and I started to see how the evolution, the technology evolution in space, like what happened in the Formula One, for example, helping the car industry to improve. The space journey and the space adventures are helping a lot medical initiatives and inventions, helping industrial inventions, helping social inventions and others, even if we think that going to the moon is a waste of money and time. It is not, because we are testing what will come to our life in the future. So how to make this originality as a gift for others, what at your level, as the example that you mentioned, and professionally speaking, Antonio, the example that I shared with you about my mother, or professionally, or society, or others. And always remember that original ideas are always there. You have original ideas, but what makes the difference is when you transform your vision into reality. When you transform the vision into reality, follow it up, whether it is for you or for others. Pursue it, persist with it. And to do this, you need to use your intuition. In every webinar, I always highlighted the importance of intuition. Never disconnect yourself from your intuition, because your intuition will tell you what feels right today, and follow it, listen to it. Creative destruction, as I mentioned, it is not about rebellion. Originality is not about rebellion. It is about changing things in a creative manner, changing the way we are doing things in a creative manner, so we can develop the second point. As you mentioned, Antonio, the ideas are not 100% invented. They are the inheritors of yesterday ideas, added and enhanced with some aspects about from the society that we are living in, from the challenges that we are facing, and so forth. And last but not least, it is a free choice. I would like to leave you with this. It is not imposed, or even if you are original by birth, you need to choose to apply your originality. You need to choose to practice it. You need to choose to go to be attracted towards original people, inspiring people. You need to develop it. You need to inspire our life. It is a choice. It is a free choice. You can live by default through conformity. You will reach your destination through conformity. I don't have any doubts. But you can enhance reaching your destination. You can enhance your life journey through this free choice of applying originality, of learning from others and learning from yourself, and making sure that others will learn from yourself. So this is the key messages that, humbly speaking, Antonio and I wanted to share with you. I will leave you with those context details that you are going to, that you see in the screen today, and you are going to get it when you get the copy of the slides. I'm offering Inspiring Our Life coaching services, as mentioned by Ali, on life coaching and business coaching, how to transform your life through originality, through change management, through entrepreneurship skills, through changing from one life phase to another. You can reach me on my website. You can reach me on email. And as mentioned by Ali, we are publishing every week on social media, Facebook and Instagram, some posts that makes, again, the invitation for people to think about known elements, known facts, but how to apply it in your life, and how to make sure that it is useful to move to the second level in your life. I will leave you with those words, and I believe that now it is the time for your questions, and I give you the floor back, Ali, for moderating the questions from the audience. And thank you very much, Antonio, for being with me. And you will answer the questions with me, of course, moving forward for the remaining 15 minutes. And now the floor is yours, Ali.
Thank you, Amr.
gentlemen.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Very interesting topic. We definitely don't have to invent the wheel to be original. So now we start the Q&A session. Thank you for everybody who has been posting the questions on the chat. Remember that you can still do it. So we begin with the first question coming from Sean Ming Tan. Any way to throttle up, increase each individual originality?
Would like Antonio first, please, to give it a
yes.
go?
For instance, from my perspective, I have the session with a friend of mine. We recently dedicated time to understand a complicated process. And I make the same question to him, for how can it be that it was so hard to do it alone? It was so easy to do with you. I was talking with a friend of mine, Marcelo Basso, and eventually you come up with, you know what is fun when you do it together. So if you want to throttle, if you want to improve, make it fun, make it a game, and they make yourself happy doing it. So for me and Basso was to get together, try to toss ideas between us, becomes a challenge, becomes a game. We're having fun in the process. When you see, after that, we're not just postponing this boring session to talk about KPIs. We actually met 3 times during this week for more than 6 hours, and do not even notice that it was so boring because it was not boring anymore. So we kind of invent a way to make it interesting for us, to make it a game. So that's it. Bring yourself from the child that you used to be. You're going to throttle. It's natural. Start to play with it.
Thank you. Thank you. I will give just to complement, I fully agree with you, Antonio. I will just complement from a different perspective. When we face challenges, problems, difficulties, and we all have those situations in life, the first instinct will be to put the blame on others. It is my boss' fault. It is the society fault. It is the president of the republic fault. It is my wife's fault. It is my husband's fault. To increase your originality is to think, what if the solution is with you? That you cannot depend and cannot rely on anybody else except you. And then you start developing and exploring what you have in your stomach, in your pocket, your experience. And recently, a member of my family was getting a nose after nose after nose applying for a job. And I asked this member of my saying, and she said, yeah, but they are discriminating me. They are not giving me the chance. I said, yeah, but why don't you be creative and original in your CV? How can you be creative in your motivation letter? Don't send the same motivation letter that everybody will send it. Find something different. And she said, but I'm facing a difficulty now. I don't have the mindset to be creative. I'm desperate. And I said, this is exactly the time where you will find the solution through your originality, because you have ideas that you did not explore. You send the same CV, the same format, the same motivation letter than thousands of other students and young graduates have sent. This is, again, when we face difficulties, it is an invitation to develop our original skills. So every opportunity is an invitation to practice originality and develop it.
Thank you, gentlemen. Our next question is coming from Esther Sananau. Thank you, Esther. Thinking and acting out of the box is indeed an often challenging unless this original person does not pursue her interests alone, but is really driven by the common good and takes care of involving and empowering her colleagues in the decision-making process. I am inspired in this topic by a series on Netflix called New Amsterdam, which is the name of a public hospital. The medical director is exactly this type of person. Can you comment on this, guys?
I don't know about the series. I don't know, Antonio, do you know about the series? I will comment in general, but maybe you know about the series that Esther is referring to?
I think I saw it once, yeah. Mm-hmm. if I'm correct, if I'm talking about exactly the same, it has to be with purpose, has to be with a challenge. You can see a challenge like a burden, or as an opportunity, as you said, something like this. If you see it, it's all about the challenge, but the challenge is not the challenge. I can see a wall as an obstacle, and I can see a wall as okay, it's a, I can climb it, I can have a different point of view, I'm as a curiosity object because I want to see what is behind of it. So you put the purpose, you put the meaning of things inside from you into the things. The things are not what they are. The things are what you think they are. So it could be a blocker, could be a bad thing. A stone, a rock could be an obstacle, could be a point that I can put myself on. I can grow, I can go higher. So it is more you than the thing. We kind of we create our monsters. That's what I said about the thing that we are doing with me and my colleague. It is not a burden, it is a game. So we just resignify something and say, okay, we give it a different meaning, a different classification into our brains and hearts, and make it fun. The people in this show are seeing things to help others, so they are putting others above and beyond the challenge itself. So you can overcome anything if you have a purpose in your heart and your mind. If I read it correctly, please send me a note if I did not catch the spirit of the show. I saw just 1 or 2 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good recommendation. Next question is coming
personally,
from...
I did not see this series, so from your answer, I understand
Okay, think.
Go ahead, Alan.
Yes, you're breaking up a little bit. We move forward with the next question from Tarek Musa. How can originality help someone advance in his/her career?
I mean, if you want to go in this, originality by itself will help you not. That's
I will give it a go first. Yeah,
yeah,
can you hear me?
please.
Yeah.
Yes, can I hear you now? But I mean, drop it. I will begin.
No, please go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
For my,
go ahead. There is a delay in the connection.
Okay, I think when you talk about career again, it's not just the originality is the tool for a career improvement. Find a purpose before why you want to improve it and how you want to improve, and improve yourself first. From my perspective, improvements in careers are usually a consequence of a self-improvement first. But this is only me talking. Yeah, I want to make it myself better. The career could be in this company, in that company, in my life. I try to make myself better. Everything else is a consequence of it. And how I see the other things is also a consequence from my line of thinking and my line of thought. But this is me. That's it, Amir. Amr, you're taking it.
Very good. Can you hear me? Can you hear
yes.
me?
I think you're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, I think take the video out, Amr. It's gonna be easier.
Thank you. So, Tarek, I believe I fully agree with Antonio, by the way, and I believe, again, based on our previous. Okay. So I hope you can hear me better now. Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So I would for the career, as you mentioned, let's not focus on how to succeed the career. Develop your originality, develop your uniqueness. Opportunities will come to you because the company will see that such a project, such need fit your uniqueness, and they would come and request your involvement, request your leadership into such activity or in such project or in such service. This is very important. If you are like everybody else, you will be, if you would like to develop a career competing with others, and if you are like hundreds and thousands of people, nothing will be new for you. But if you are unique, if you are different, then the selection and the career development will come naturally, because nobody else will be able to do it except you. And this combination, if you are working in a technical environment, the combination between technical skills, leadership skills, communication skills, and will make this uniqueness, and hence your career will be developed. So don't focus on career development, focus on developing how you can make the difference, and things will come naturally afterwards. And I believe that this is very similar to what you said, Antonio. And learn from your failure. My friend Vera, who is with us here, my coach, keep reminding me, failure is the best teacher, the best element to progress. Never ignore your failure. Never ignore when things didn't go as you wish, because they went in a different path to teach you something about your career. So career is not always one step after the other and everything is positive. Career is up and down. And learn from this kind of swing, and while developing your uniqueness, because maybe the failure made you learn something that nobody else learned because they did not fail. And this specific failure that you faced was the best gift that you got at time T, that all the others didn't develop it because they were successful at this moment. And then your career can go further.
Thank you, guys. Let's move forward with the next question coming from Mohammed Turkey. In fact, he has two questions. Let's try to answer both. The first question is originality being more oneself and belief on your values, cultures, and your intuition to judge outer world? Or is it more about being curious and challenge common practice? That would be the first question.
Antonio, would you like to go first?
Oh, yes. First of just, it's only a failure if you do not learn anything. If you learn something, it's not a failure, it's a lesson. So this is for me. And again, this does not have to be alone or in groups. I think that in order to be with others, you need to be okay to be with you. Hardly you can involve yourself or deal with the others if you are unhappy about yourself. So to be alone or to be in a group, I think you need first of all to be okay with you, to work with you, okay, so we can work with others. Hardly the people that not work with themselves, you're going to be able to function properly with others. Sometimes I see people having arguments with others just because he has an internal issue with himself. Yeah. So my question is not either one or another, but we need to want to do the other.
Yeah, exactly. It is not either or, Mohammed. It is all. I'm going to something pop up in my mind. I don't know if anybody or everybody know what is the origin of the word paella in Spanish, the famous dish in Spain with the rice and chicken and some fruit, some fish and others. Paella comes from an Arabic word called ba'iyya, which means that the mother or the housewife, when she created this plate, everything, ba'iyya is what is left in the house, what is left in the fridge, what is left in the cupboard. So she took everything what is left and she created this plate, this dish, and became very famous. And with the accent, the Spanish transformed it into paella, but it is ba'iyya in Arabic. So this was original, was creative. And she took everything that she had. She didn't take only the rice or only the fish or only the chicken. She took everything and she created something to feed her family, and it became a well-known dish in the world. So you need to be original. You need to use every single opportunity, every single every single skill, every single intuitive idea that you cross your mind in order to make something with it. This is humbly what I suggest, and don't be selective, because you can stop creative ideas from going on if you start being selective, if you start saying this will be going to the right direction, this will not go to the right direction. Give it a go, try it, fail, as I mentioned, learn, develop, and move on, and move on, and move on.
Thank you.
And the second question, Ali?
Second question is, again, from Mohammed. Advice for individuals working for international organizations. What is the balance between applying originality and live the organization culture? Advice for international organizations. How to enable originality within multi-international orgs where power of distance, leadership level, and capacity and power is different?
Okay, I will give it a go first, Antonio, if you allow me.
Yes,
of course. Thank you. Of course, Mohammed, the international organizations have very heavy corporate culture weight. And sometimes we face this weight and we say, we cannot change this culture. We cannot change it through our original ideas. So the first, again, I'm not going to give you a recipe. I'm going just to tell you how I applied it out my life. And again, some cases it worked and some cases it didn't work. So I'm not giving you a recipe, do 1, 2, 3. What I did is that I always try to understand the culture. I cannot change something if I don't understand it. So first I should understand. I should understand the driving forces, who wants what priorities. And then I would see maybe in this culture there are good things. So it is not change. There are things to remain. And there are things that need to change because time for it to change, because there are new factors, new elements. And then based on your understanding of this corporate culture, based on the new needs of the company, you can start inserting the changes. But you need what we call corporate diplomacy. You never impose it. You need to make sure that it has a purpose, it is useful. Get yourself surrounded by supporters. Get yourself surrounded by people who will adhere with ARDs, but at the same time, they will tell you, Mohammed, you are going to fail here. So they tell you the truth, not only to tell you everything is perfect. I can also, like talking about the space from Antonio, I can talk about it, and this is part of my coaching, by the way, activities, is that I can help corporate people and in life to apply diplomacy, whether corporate diplomacy or life diplomacy, to insert new ideas while understanding the culture of the environment where you are. Because it is practice, it is a training, but there is no recipe. Antonio?
Oh, most of the things are exactly the same, but if you want to fix a clock, you better know how it ticks. So take it apart, understand the mechanism so we can fix it. Don't try to fix a thing that you do not understand. It's going to be impossible. So voila, again.
Love it, love it.
Okay, I think we ran out of time, so we will make sure to answer the remaining questions by email. So thank you very much, everyone, for attending this interesting topic. Now we have more ideas and tips on how to be original and, of course, hungry with the paella explanation. Thank you, Amr. So I will leave the floor for your last words, if you have.
Thank you very much, Ali, and especially for your effort behind the scene, Ali, on the logistics, on helping us putting a number of things together. So thank you very much. And of course, thank you very much, Antonio, for accepting my invitation today, my being the co-speaker in today's session. Humbly speaking, we hope, together, the three of us, we hope we brought to the audience some reflection points. Again, I don't think we brought brand new ideas, but we brought maybe some reflection points for further analysis, further trials, and further tests and further practice. Again, the love of the luxury of our life journey is that we can, as long as we are alive, we can try. We can fail, we can succeed, but we can try. So I invite everybody to try and keep inspiring our life and keep inspiring other people's life. And leave you in peace.
Thank you all. Thank you, Amir. Thank you, Ali. Live long and prosper, my friends. That's my final. Thank you.
Thank you.